Yes and no.
Elaborate.
Yes, in the sense that, and you've got socioeconomic as well as political as well as racial aspects as to why we do some of the things we do. Some of the things we do are us, but have been, for want of a better word, criminalized or twisted. Like I watched a video on Facebook today where there's a little black girl busting out, what's it called, Zonto, everything, Congolese dancing. The way I was like, she threw it down. Comments, oh, she should either be reading a book or why she twerking. I'm like, hold on. So people are now looking at African dancing as a sexualized, and I'm like, why are you looking at us like that? Because what, you can't dance? Or no, it's a real thing though.
You can't find the rhythm.
Or like how can you look at something like that and then twist it? Do you see where I'm coming from? Now, from a historical point of view, no disrespect to all of those watching this, what's it called? It's a case of, from a historical point of view, everything we've done for the most part has either been co-opted or twisted to look in the wrong way. You see where I'm coming from? There's a reason why you can walk down the street and a white person will cross the road when they see someone like me. Or because I've got a snapback on, I'm black, and I'm walking on the street. That's literally all they need. Do you see where I'm coming from? So social media does help to an extent, but I think a lot of the issues are just exacerbated by social media, not issues that weren't already there per se. And it was another element of the question which I need to answer, so please ask me the question again.
The question was, are we the ones that fault?
So yes, so no, because to answer the question, Brody, no, because of those issues. Yes, because sometimes we play up to it.
Yeah, because I want to, maybe this would now get more people talking a little bit more, because me, myself, I'm a strong believer. It's our fault. I believe that if we acted in a certain manner in the community, society, that means, I'm not saying the white man or anyone else will change the way they view us, but it might have an influence on how people look at us. But I just think that maybe
What things?
specific behavior in the terms of, the article which I read was a bit too, so obviously the source which I'm using is very far out of date. 2013 to 2014, research showed that there was, I think it was 70%, I can't remember exactly the percentage of crime rate in UK was black people.
Let me answer that, please. With that 70%, they don't really, to them that 70% works, because if you look at how people are living and like the situations and that, they put poverty and poverty together, man. They're not, it's not like they're separating it. They want that stuff to happen. You actually look at it, they put estates full of like poverty, fam. People don't care. They don't have time to care, fam.
And with, I was gonna say, and with the media, like what I was saying the other day was, just because another black person has committed a crime doesn't mean that I should be judged based on what they have done. When I want an opportunity or when I want to do something, I should first of all be looked at as a human being before as a black woman. What I particularly hate with the media is that when a black person commits a crime, they'll say, oh, a black boy from, but when it's a white person, they'll say, oh, Billy from Trafford did blah, blah, blah. I feel like the social media, okay, yeah, fair enough, it's a statistic, but I feel like the social media or media in general just makes black people and just look so much worse than they are when they bring so many good things to the table. Like me, maybe I'm being far-fetched, but half the things that they're selling in Tesco, or half the things that they're selling in the shop, they got from our motherland. And if you want to keep pointing the picture, saying that, you know, but, you know, they're black people and, you know, they have the potential to do blah, blah, blah. Remember all the good that we've also brought as well? Like, you can't just say that, you know, because this black boy is carrying this and he looks this and he's this dark, blah, 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 that I should now be discriminated, or I shall not get the same opportunity as the standard white person. Because a white person could be, you know, stereotyped for another thing. It might not be crime. Just like an Asian person can also be, you know, stereotyped.
I was just gonna agree with that, like, and kind of expand on it. I don't think it has anything to do with our side. Personally, I feel like we're conditioned through stuff we've been through, and you go through certain circumstances. Until you come to the knowledge to act differently or know a right, then you know a right. So there's no, I don't think there's a general consensus for the right black way yet, and that's not our fault. Like, we're still going through things, we're still building. Like, there's nothing yet to unify us in the same way that white man can be unified, I think, or other races.
This topic is so broad. It's too broad. Yeah, like, with regards to what you were saying with the media, you have to remember that they have a narrative which they have to sell. They have newspapers they have to sell. They have TV shows that need to be watched. There needs to be a narrative that the people believe. And unfortunately, this narrative has been sold since slavery, that we are so terrifying and it's not something that's going to go away. We kind of need to, like, it's not going to go away. Like, so that's one thing. Another thing, as a community, as with every community, we are 100% responsible for how we are seen. We can't sit here and say we're not accountable. We have to hold ourselves accountable, because we, like our parents' generations and the generations before them, they had dreams for us. We have dreams for our generations as well, but it can't continue going in the same vein that if my son has a skeng or he's got a ting on him, and I know that I automatically I'm just like, well, he has to do what he has to do because it's hard on these streets and so on and so forth. We can't keep on just kind of shielding. It's a problem. Do you know what I mean? And because we're not talking about it in the community like that, it's kind of become a thing of where, oh, well, like, he pushed a couple of bags of this. Well, you know, he just had to do what he had to do. Nah, B. I know the streets are hard. I know. I've got family members who are on road and who that's the life that they've had to live because of circumstances. But then again, you can't let the environment shape you like that. And these are the kind of conversations we need to be having in our community so that we're not painted with this brush.
And do you know, I agree with that so badly, yeah? Because, you know what, 2017, I felt like this shift, like, just 2018 is going to be much the same. It's just it's the platforms that are available, and everyone, like, even black people, I just feel mad powerful right now, you know, like anything you're thinking of, you can actually do it. Seeing it all angles, people doing it, man.
Cool. Sorry, you go on.
I agree with what everyone said in here. Like, literally, back in the days during the slavery time and stuff like that, obviously, a lot of stuff that which made this country great, a lot of other rich countries, like other European country great, is because of what they've taken from Africa. The gold, the diamond, the copper, the cocoa beans, everything, knowledge, everything. They've taken that, they've used, like, for example, the White House was built by slavery, by black people and stuff like that. There's lots of which happened. But at the same time as well, that was then. We can never forget our history, but we can also improve on it. We can also always, like, change our views. Like, let people see a difference in us. We can't let say, because of what happened there, this is what's gonna happen to me. No, you can always change. Like, you can always change your identity. Like, always, like, I mean, not change as in like who you are, but you can always make it better. For example, like, I saw a guy on Instagram shooting a gun in the air, a black guy, and then driving off. I'm like, what are you doing? There's no point of doing that. You can. I mean, but at the same time, you can always, like, you can do so much more with your life. I mean, like, with us, like, we've used this saying that, oh my, because of what happened in the past, I'm not gonna, you know, be like those white people and stuff, and I'm not gonna be like this. Yes, there will come a point whereby obviously you might not be able to reach that point, but if you actually like change your ways, and like we can't let what happened then define us right now, because we can't just, we can always change our view, we can always make ourselves better.
What's your input on this question? Do you think that we are the one to blame? The way the social media view us, the way people in general just view black people as, well, yeah, they view us as bad people, really.
I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure about this one, but I don't know. It just depends, innit? The press always do the most, man. But they like to over exaggerate minor scenarios, which if a white person does the same thing, they like to blow out of proportion. But it's just how, I don't know, man. I don't know.
You know what it is, yeah? I think as well it's I don't like the way they pick and choose like their stereotypes. That's why the way they do it is just one of them ones, just you do you, like you just live how you want to live, because they pick and choose the wrong ones. Like they pick and choose the negative ones. They're never doing the positive, and it's pure positivity going on. Like it's just them in it. That's just how they want to do it.
I was gonna agree with that. Like literally, I feel like I don't know, you can't judge yourself according to stereotypes. So I don't even think the question of do black people make them worse should be asked, because it's not even fair to judge someone according to a stereotype. People should just be allowed to be who they are in their own right, because you can't win otherwise. So for example, if you were to look at the stereotype of the angry black woman, it's not fair that like a black woman has to fight that, because any other woman is like, she doesn't even have that against her. She can just be who she is. So like it's like just you can't look at them like that. Like if you wanna, of course, like no one wants to be like angry, like whatever, but it's not fair that in like a black woman's mind it's like, oh, I can't do this because I don't want to be perceived as this. People should just take people how they are. Like be a kind person, be a soft person, because that's who you want to be, not because you're trying to fight a stereotype, because you shouldn't have to.
So another thing I want to say is like to an extent, it's also our fault as well. Like look at what's happening in Libya. We're literally selling our own brothers away for money. What's the need of that?
But those things are funded. Like even for that, no. Even for that, yeah, it's a bit unfair. I know, but what I'm saying,
it happening. Like if it was outside, okay, then we would see something's going on. But it's actually happening in our own content. Why are we actually allowing it to happen?
When it happens, them times you have to remember those are places that have been exploited for years. Like when stuff like that is happening, it's only happening because some people are getting paid, some people are benefiting from it. Like look at the root cause that's actually doing that. It's not even like at fault there. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, you can also you have to stand your ground and say, no, this is my brother. I don't care.
Yeah. And then
look. Money comes and goes. Money's for the devil.
No, but bro, it's easier said than done here. It's easier said than done here. When you go and see like, if something doesn't happen today for me, I'm not getting a meal. Or if something doesn't happen for me today, bro, like this is life here. Like it's different. You know what I mean? We're here. We're nice, man. We're nice, man. Do you see the country is destroyed? Yes, it's destroyed.
Can I just add to that? You see the whole Libya and slave thing, you have to remember that the Middle East, parts of the Middle East do not see themselves as Africans, even though they are in the African continent. And that's because of so many different political and socialist things that have happened. The Middle East see themselves better than Africans. When you go to Dubai and you go there on an African passport, you're looked at like dust. And it's not to say anything, but it's just the simple fact that you are African. And that's not because of us. It's history, unfortunately.
Okay, before you go there, remember the topic we're going with, yeah? So do not, make sure you're talking about the society, how it views black people. Go on.
Okay. Like you said about you said, relaxing them, right? You said about the Dubai, yeah? Look. For me, the way is like, look at it, like I was gonna take it off, but I don't want to do it. But like for us, we don't like helping each other. No offense, that's how it is.
Oh,
helping each other. Black people, we don't like helping each other. Like our own brother. Like if I have money, I'm not gonna. Like, it's like I don't want to help you, but I want you to go and help yourself. But if you see other races, they help each other around so that they can grow.
But that's on the damage. That's on.
But that's what we've done.
When it's not even. Listen. Listen. Wait.
Look, it's both ways. It's both ways. Look, from what happened, like they've taken away a lot of our culture. They've taken away a lot of our values and stuff like that. But at the same time, don't let it make you seem like you're worth nothing. You can make them prove that you can prove them wrong. Simple as that.
But you shouldn't have to prove people
You
wrong.
can prove them
Like,
wrong.
You should just
Yeah.
be yourself in your own right.
Be yourself, and at the same time, help each other grow.
I understand what you mean, but at the same time, my thing is like, I do understand where you're. Huh?
You go with the social media and
Okay,
don't
cool.
go in his direction because his direction is highway.
All right, cool. If you from a media point of view, I will say that as much as we don't help ourselves, I would also say that you also have to say, okay, fine, where's the chain of causation? What got us to the point where we are now viewed a certain way? Do you see where I'm coming from? Because
slavery goes to
well,
where we're viewed now.
I would say that would definitely be the precursor to anything else because that would have shaped a lot of our behaviors in the first place. Do you see what I'm coming? Because
I would say it has a large impact.
yeah, I would say.
What makes you say it as a large?
Yeah, because I ain't finished 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know it like off by heart. You know what I'm
And
saying?
do you know what it is? Everyone has to remember slavery was a mental thing. That's
I wouldn't say slavery though.
Huh?
Not just
slavery.
No, I'm saying one of the precursors.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the main thing. I'm saying it's
What do you
because don't forget when I say slavery, I'm talking about, as you point, the psychological aspect of it. Have you ever heard of the term like is it buck breaking? Do you know what that
Lynching,
meant?
all of that.
Not even lynching, just buck breaking. You know what that is? Get the whammest Negro you know, all of them, line them up in front of their kids and their wives, run through them. Run through, and when I say run through, I don't mean run through in a nice way. I mean sodomize.
Aggressive.
Do you get what I mean? And no. Now what I'm saying is that is just one facet of the psychological aspect of it. You can also go into the lynching aspect of it. So a lot of
with stuff they used to do.
it's all well and good when you recognize and say, okay, fine, ourselves, and as in each of an individual point of view and as a race or whatever, we have to take accountability, definitely. But within that taking accountability, if you don't even know any of the history as to why you've gotten to a point where you feel you have to do extra, why you're told you can do anything, where other white children aren't told you can do anything, because you don't have that same sort of barrier. You see where I'm coming from?
But you're saying slavery.
I said as one of the reasons.
All of us here have never been slaves.
But remember, it was a mental thing.
No, but that mental thing's not been passed to me, G.
Behaviors. Look at it. Look at it this way. The way, but the same way your mother raised you, your father raised you. A lot of what you've imbibed is based on them. Now, all the things that you feel now has filtered down from immemorial. You see what I'm- so all the good things that you get is because of all the good things that have been passed down. So all the bad things that you're also getting is because of stuff that happened from before then.
Can I remind you as well? Your father and your mother were alive, and it was their time when independence was happening. So if you talk to them, they'll proper tell you, fill you in.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, and I understand that slavery is a big part of our color, but I'm saying, okay, so those people unfortunately suffered for just being black, but I'm not going to say or justify that and say that's the reason why people are doing the crimes that they are today, because I feel like that's just another excuse for taking another life or doing blah blah blah. The reason why I said I don't feel like slavery is a massive part is because I feel like it's just one of them things where people are just, they don't want to work for good things anymore. People just want it quick and fast, like AC.
Can I say
Quick and fast. That has nothing to do with our slavery.
Can I say something though? Like, this is what I'm saying. This is what I tried to touch up on earlier when I was like, if you look how everyone's living, poverty and poverty, like I was saying, people, when they see quick cash or whatever, some people are even happy they can give their parents, who they're seeing their mum and dad struggling, going to work 24 hours of 7 days a week. Like, you know what I mean? When they see cash, to them, their mind's made up.
You also have to
You know
put
what
it
I
down
mean?
to the individual level. Like, as good as you are as a person, say, oh, don't do this, don't do this. You may find yourself in a situation where you're not like, let me start shotting just to do something. But you don't want to do that. And I'm not saying, like you said, don't be shaped by your environment. But sometimes, as a human being, your emotions are mixed up, desperation, whatever. You're like, you know what? Let me bun this. Let me do this quick time. stack a bit of pee, all of a sudden you find yourself, that's now your lifestyle. So I'm not saying it's not always as clear cut as just, taking responsibility. Yes, you have to.
On top of that, you never learned that from anyone. Your environment did that. That's what I'm saying. You're saying that you're passing things.
This is linked into the point.
Your environment is where you. No, is where you are.
Think about it this way. I can't talk about the UK.
I mean, to an extent, we do agree, but I don't feel like it's a huge part, like, on us as a community, because I'm only one black woman in the community. Yes, I can do my part and try and change the stereotypes, but I'm only one in so many black people. So that's why I feel like I can't just turn around and say, we're part to blame, because I'm only one person. I can't be blamed for every black person's actions. So for instance, you always hear of, I'm just using it as an example, a white grandparent who's always racist, and then obviously if they're talking in the house, the child's also bound to be racist. But once that person's gone out and they've met black people and they're like, they don't even deserve this, blah, blah, blah. They've now learnt that behavior, and you can now take it upon yourself to be like, I don't want to be racist. So you're saying that, yeah, bad things have been passed down, but I can still go out and learn that I don't want that.
His point, in relation to, and you can still go out, that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. If you're a good person, you don't start off wanting to get into that life, but sometimes your environment will force you into that life. Now, the element, like, I can't really talk about the UK too, but it's probably around the same thing. For example, in America, as an example, black people were shunted into the worst areas of each city and unpoliced. And after unpolicing them for X amount of years, decided, oh no, let's try. Now, when you don't know the people that you've put there, you don't know them anymore. You're now going to try and police them. You can't police people you don't know. And on top of that, so what I'm saying is, so you're now in that environment, nobody's policed, you know nothing, and you're shut in, you're doing this, you're doing that. That's the environment you were left in. Even if it start, and the thing is they weren't even given a good start. We say it's great housing, it's blah blah blah, schools, everything that had to support black people was not there in the first place. So what support, after you've left me with Jacko, you've taken my history, you've taken everything, you've now piled all of us into the crappiest areas, don't even bother policing us, and then you expect me to be on the same level as you are? No, it will take me a hell of a lot longer. The same way when Cameron came out and said, oh, Nigeria's capital, I was like, I will slap you, corrupt. Bring back my people, bring back my diamonds, bring back everything. The word corruption does not exist in most of our bloody languages. It was the word corruption is an English word. It doesn't exist. So even the concept of corruption, concept of some of these things weren't even there to start with. We learned them based on the fact that we were taken a certain way and it's filtered down. Do you see what I'm coming from? So that's why I said it's not just necessarily, slavery, but I'm saying, think about colonization as an example. Colonization is not me coming to you and say, we're going to do it this way or whatever. It is, you will now become me. By force, by fire. You are now me. You're gone. When someone takes everything out of you, you're no longer who you are, which is part of the reason why we're always backbiting against Nigerians hate Ghanaians. For what reason? Jamaicans hate Nigerians. For what reason? We're the same bloody color.
Same people.
But we all think we're different at the same time. Why?
That's how they...
You see where I'm coming from?
How they work to push that off.
There's a reason why
they work so hard to push it off.
Talk to me, Auntie.
Adding to what you said, and you're kind of trying to understand why slavery thing was seen as a precursor, it's more so the mental conditioning. That's the aspect of it that is now filtered down and is affecting some of the behaviors that we are seeing.
Okay, quick question. So why is it that it was the mental state of the people who were going through slavery, but we can never take how they, their mental stability is in your mind. You can't transfer. You can never understand until you're in that position. So why does that then give us leeway to act on what they suffered when we're not suffering? Isn't this now?
Wait, in this
show that
this modern day age, in this modern day age right now, do you not feel, unless you break out and do something, you're in a matrix? Do you not feel like you're doing, it's a matrix, like it's just a life that's built for you, you work, you repeat, unless you break out of it? Do you not feel like that?
Do I feel that
like life is a matrix right now? Like, this is modern day slavery, and until you break out, build something for your own or have your own ideas. Do you not feel like that?
Modern day slavery.
Like, for you right now, what do you want to be like when you're older or whatever? You don't want to just be a worker, just doing everything repetitive, and you know what I mean. So until you get to where you are, do you not feel like you're in a matrix? Like right now, it's like modern day slavery.
It wouldn't be a matrix because this is a necessity. You need money to be able to eat. You need money to be able to have a house. It's not. I don't even think. I think it's all about mindset. You can't. You see it as slavery, but I see it as a way of living. Do you get what I mean?
But listen, we all understand that money is like we have to get. But what I'm saying is,
I was just gonna say, like, I completely get what you're saying, but I think environment plays a bigger part in things than we like to believe, especially with bringing it back to the whole stereotypes thing, especially like with a modern example. Say you have like the stereotype of, I'm just going to use black females because that's what I know about. Say one girl, she's whatever, like, I didn't even know, twerking in the club, like she's ratchet, whatever. It's easy to be like, oh yeah, that's her fault. But look at her environment compared to, say me, for example. Of course, it's mindset, but like my parents like put me in like basically like a school in the outskirts. Like not everyone has the opportunity to go to like the university that I went to, be surrounded with those people. So for example, of course, like I'm not going to, it's my mindset as well, but then it's the things that I've been exposed to that gives me even the opportunity to be like in a room full of white people. Like all my lectures is white people, so I don't think you can blame a person necessarily when their environment is so huge, especially like with black guys. It's so easy to say like, I'm saying, no, it's not just environment, but it's a huge part, because you're not, imagine like you're trying to reach for something that you don't even know is possible. You don't even know it's possible for like a black guy to be like a CEO or like a black female to be, you don't even know. At least if I see it, she doesn't have to be black, but like I see it like it's in touching distance. That's cool. But if this guy's raised here, like it's like a huge expectation on that person to expect them to reach for something they haven't even seen. Like it's fake to them.
About like for the actual difference in the push, you see, some white people, some whatever, like when they're growing up, they're seeing, they know when they have dreams, they've already seen like you're capable of doing it. For a black person, sometimes it's you, however you're thinking raw, like that's so far, you know, like how am I gonna get there? Like you know what I mean? That's building mad consistency.
All good things come with a bit of struggle or a bit of, and I always say that you're saying that it's a matter of CEO, blah blah blah. Can a black person be a CEO? But you know, but for you to actually have that ambition, I think that you have to have seen it. You're saying it's a seeing thing. For you to aspire to do something like that, you must see it as well. So people say you see it till you believe, like that's the only time you believe it. So for you to aspire to be like that, you must have seen someone, or you must have heard of someone who has got to the person doesn't have to necessarily be like somebody that you know, but you've seen it. Oh, that there's a guy a black guy out there who owns blah blah blah, and he's doing this and this for himself. So you must have seen it.
But you can't believe it.
There's,
you can see, you can be something.
you know, but you're forced to believe it if he's there. If he's there, he's made it.
Nah, my dear, the same way you can be in a relationship and believe that this guy loves you, love this guy, you know he's effing around on you, but for some reason you can't. You know what's there, but your action shows that you don't really quite believe what's happening. Now, just because I want to be a footballer, I can see myself playing football, but if I don't believe I can actually be that thing. And what's the cause of the lack of belief? Sometimes.
Okay, you're talking about something else. Okay.
No, it's the same thing.
No, because I was saying believe in the terms of could you get there, but you're saying believe in the terms.
It's the same thing, because if seeing that you can get somewhere does not mean you're missing out the fact that you have to still believe that you can actually do it. Just because I can see something does not mean I believe I can reach it. I can see it, but doesn't mean I believe it. You see where I'm coming from? Element. If you miss that element out.
So, are we agreeing or disagreeing that we're at fault for the stereotypes we get?
No.
So we're saying we're not at fault. It's this. So.
Like I said, society.
Go, tell me.
You're not at fault.
It depends on your environment and where you come from.
Black people aren't any more at fault than white people. Like it's like a thing of your environment is 60% of your. of how you turn out, basically. That 40% is huge, because if you can still your mind and just aim for something, then your environment can be practically meaningless. But I wouldn't say it's any person. Like, you look, like, there's no one black person, there's no one white person. A white person might have had a more difficult upbringing to me, just because, like, especially nowadays, there's so many different types of black guys, so many different types of white people. So I feel like it's almost, race is still a thing, but it almost feels a little bit outdated to even look at it in that. You just have to look at environment. It just so happened that before, being black equaled poverty, equaled being caught up in this, but not necessarily now, I don't think.
It shouldn't have equaled any of these things in the first place, because when you talk about like a mindset aspect, like the psychological aspect of it, if I ask the question, when is the best time you can indoctrinate something into someone?
When they're young.
School. So now when you grow up, I'm not talking about like where you're back in Africa, but let's say here in America, when you grow up and Jesus is white, angels are white, everything's white, people who should be black are white, and you're not taught anything about any self-worth. There's nothing, it's all about everything being a certain way, and you don't fit into the picture. You will forever be the other. Even when you feel like, oh no, I'm British, I'm this, you're still the other. Don't get it twisted. You are still the other. You may feel like you're British and blah, blah. You are still the other to the majority of people. So it's one of those ones where when you go deep into the psychology of it, that little thing also exacerbates some of the bad things we do. You see what I'm like, you still have to take personal responsibility, and like you said, in the community, but once you understand how deep this thing went, 500 years, my dear. Like,
Hey, do you lot?
I'm not saying it's.
Do you lot know what's funny? Yeah.
Missing the significance of the
do you know what's
aspect behind it.
I can't change every black person's
Do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny? Yeah. Let's say from how us lot were brought up here, or we was from Whitley, whatever. We went to the school here. Yeah, it wasn't the best school. Do you know what's funny now? I'm an electrician. Yeah, and in school, what was the electrics like? Remember when they told us pick GCSEs? They took us for what was it called? Whatever it was called. Piss, like it was stupid. I didn't even stay in that class. They didn't teach us nothing. Like it was, bro. Just, you know what I mean? Like that's the standards. Like that's growing up like in a. This is not even a bad area, but you're growing up in an environment where it's not like the best school or nothing. Like just piss. When I got older and I started doing it for myself, like yeah, this is what I actually want to do. It's more practical and it's not something like I have to be in an office or something like that. In school, they didn't even try. Like it was literally that day, one day for GCSE in the morning.
The poorer the area, the worse the education. So which means
you're
trying to educate people, but with no real anything of value. So how are you going to even teach these same people who are going out robbing and blah blah? They haven't been grounded in anything solid in the first place.
So it's the government's fault.
I'm not saying it's the government has a part to play in it, because the government. Look at Grenfell. Exactly. Look at the area that it's in. And that crap happened in Grenfell. The amount you found 1 billion to pledge to the DUP, but you only managed to raise 5 million for those people. Are you off your nut, bruv? And it's because of the area that they live in.
Do you know
so
what's
they
funny
treat
as well?
poor people, and predominantly, unfortunately, the poor areas tend to have coloured people in it.
Exactly.
And that's where that's the only place they can afford living. So all these factors start to, when you add them up, you're like, yeah. No wonder it's so difficult.
Have you not noticed as well, yeah? Have you not noticed as well for JMA, the business teachers have never run a business themselves. They've never been successful.
Remember, because you can teach business, but you don't.
They're coming to teach us how to run business and be businessmen, and none of them have ever done in their life.
Okay, cool. I think we'll leave it on that one. I know you wanted to say something else. Like you said, it's a broad subject and we can't cover it. Maybe hopefully I get you same people again in another time. But thank you so much for all coming. And that was our last topic. I know you lot wanted to speak about why I meant trash. Why I meant trash, but you can do that another time. Thank you. Tell them about your YouTube channel.
My YouTube channel, if you go onto YouTube, you type in Liv McQueen, and literally I just talk about everything from uni experiences to men are trash to vlogs and stuff. So yeah, check it out.